Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. At least not for the next 28 minutes while my laundry's in the dryer at the laundromat. Right back over there. Real exciting, New Year's Eve. Who is calling me? My husband. Oh, we should put him on speakerphone and see what he says. Hold on just a second. Hello, you're on speakerphone while I'm making a video. What's up?
Oh, hello, world.
Hello, world.
You're famous now.
You're YouTube famous now. Well, so am I.
Oh, my God.
There's so many of us, though. You know, I can't compete. What are you doing?
That's right. I was just walking back to the car after I picked up our tickets for tonight's party.
Okay.
And I wanted to see if you wanted, like, what time you wanted to, like, to either leave the house or be at the party. So I can tell, like, our family where to meet us.
Let me finish making my video, and then I will call you back. Okay?
Okay.
Did you ask Rodney if I can film at the party tonight?
Yeah, but he said it's more than okay for you to film our entire experience.
Oh, exciting. That's going to be the very first vlog on my vlog channel.
As we mentioned, and it's first through the party, and of course, rock, and throw him
a little bone.
A mention or something, yeah.
All right. Okay, babe, I love you. I love him to get off here.
You too.
I love you. Okay, bye. So yeah, so that was my husband. How are you? There's exactly what my vlog channel is going to look like. You guys, I have so many exciting things planned for this vlog channel. I was thinking about it today. So many people, since this has all gone down, have sent me their phone numbers and been like, you know, if you like need somebody to talk to, please call me. You know, I trust you, blah, 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 whatever. And so I started thinking about it and I thought, I think in 2017, I'm going to do these random videos, which nobody will expect, where I just like call somebody out of the blue and do a video calling like somebody that's a subscriber to my channel. Wouldn't that be funny? Like when those sweepstakes show up at your door, and I'd be like, hey, it's Peter, how are you? And they'd be like, who? And I'd be like, Peter Monn, I'm YouTube famous now. Get over it. Anyway, I am going to totally do that though in 2017. And I have so many little fun ideas like that planned of things that I've never seen on YouTube before. I mean, I've seen some of that on YouTube, but like, I'm going to do it in like a really funny, different way. And then I'm like, call people and like interview them that you would never expect. Okay. I have some like hilarious interviews planned for 2017. Literally, I have some YouTubers that I'm going to interview that you guys will never expect. I've never mentioned on here that I know that are huge that I'm going to interview, and it's going to be the most hilarious interviews. Okay. So that, and I have some really exciting collabs planned, and Alex and I are going to New York, we're going to LA, and we are going to Miami, and we have a wedding in the Dominican Republic, and we are trying to go to Thailand. So all of that will be vlogged, and we'll probably go to Vegas at least once this year too. Big travelers, and probably some little small road trips and stuff like that, which are always fun to... I always love watching vlogs like that. Like when I watched Y.O. Russ when they went to Yellowstone National Park the other day. What's so funny is that I'm not like a hiker, but I was watching that video and I was like, I would totally love to like go to Yellowstone National Park. This guy is parked in front of me. Watch, he's walking by. There he is. He was like, what are you doing when he's walking by? People do not understand the art of vlogging. Do you think like 20 years from now we'll look back and it'll be like the art of vlogging? Anyway, I feel really inspired today, and let me tell you what happened. So I woke up this morning, and I had to go to a funeral, and it was a celebration of life. It wasn't so much a funeral, it was actually just really a church service, and it was a really cool church service. And it was in this really old church, Christ Church Cathedral downtown. It's on the Circle in Indianapolis, and they did like it was not a Catholic church, but they did like the incense and stuff, and I mean, this church was absolutely packed, and there was a part of the eulogy, so the person that passed away, I just want to keep this anonymous for people, so I don't want to say who it was, but for the person that passed away, like grew up singing in this church and like traveling all over the world singing with this church. They're a really well-known like children's choir, and then at some point, because he passed away because of cancer, like a part of throat cancer was part of what he had. And so he lost his singing voice. And when he did, his sister in the eulogy said, it was such a poignant moment. And she said, when he lost his voice, that did not stop his love of music, and he started drumming. And he would do drum circles. And I was like, that is so cool that, like, no matter what your artistic like medium is, when your hands are tied, you find other outlets. And I love that so much that, you know, this person just would not be beaten down, even though health and everything else was keeping him from doing that. And last night I had a girl that subscribes to my channel, and she's a wolf packer. Woof woof. I heard ya. Anyway, and I don't want to give away her anonymity either, but she snaps me a lot. And she's always like, I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, girl, I remember you every time. But anyway, I mean, she's gorgeous and she's very sweet. And she has a chronic illness. And she got married and she was not able to walk like down the aisle without her cane at that time, or with her cane. So they only had a civil union. They didn't do an actual wedding reception or wedding, you know, ceremony. And last night she asked Alex and I if we would come to the wedding, if it was possible. It's going to be in September. And I was like, now when I say this, children, don't be sending me all your wedding invitations. I can't send gifts to all of you. But she was like, I was like, absolutely. I mean, she's worked so hard to be able to walk down the aisle for her wedding. And I was just like, and she was like, your videos inspire me and motivate me so much. And I was like, I sit behind a fucking camera and I just talk. And that power to just turn on a camera and talk and just tell pieces of my life, like cheer somebody up, like you can, our voices are so loud. Mine, yours, all the YouTubers out there. We can choose what we do with our voice, okay? We can use it for good or we can use it for bad. I am so happy that I made a conscious decision going forward to use my voice for only good, okay? To have a girl that I've never met before that has worked so hard to get to the point where she can walk down an aisle because her wedding is so important for her, to ask me and my husband to come to the wedding because I've had an impact on her life. You guys, like, that's crazy to me, right? Like, I was like, baby, of course I'll be there if I can make it. Absolutely. So, yeah, and wouldn't that be fun to vlog too? And she needs to start her own channel. She's got a great story to tell that would really inspire people. And I think that's what it is. I want to see everybody that comes to me and says came to me in 2016 and says, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I want you all to start your YouTube channels. You all have a voice. Your voice is important. We've got to get our voices out there. We've got to get our stories out there. The power of a story is so important, okay? And I was sitting in that church today, and it was really cool because my brother-in-law, or my husband, couldn't go, and so I was there totally all alone, and so halfway through, did you see him? Oh, he walked by that way now. He was like all looking in my car. Who's he talking to? Who's that boy talking to? That boy. That old man. Who's that old man talking to? So my hair looks a little blue on this. Somebody said they would love to see me with colored hair. I might do that in 2000. I might do like some kind of thing where, you know, like where they do, oh, if I get so many likes, I'll color my hair purple. I might do something like that. I mean, it's worth it for a video. I would love to have like purple or blue hair. I think like a pale light blue would be really cute when I get my blue G-Wagon. Wouldn't that be cute? Anyway, so keep viewing those videos, guys, and make me YouTube famous, and that'll happen. Anyway, I was sitting in there and I was watching, I was sitting there and like, I was thinking about my mom, and I'll talk about that in a second, but like halfway through the service, this church was packed, okay? And I was in the back, like I was like 4 rows from the back, and there, all of a sudden I noticed that somebody is standing to my left. I mean, I'm gonna start crying telling the story. You guys know that I'm the biggest crybaby in the world, but I turned to my left and my brother-in-law was standing there. And my brother-in-law, Fufu, and I said, I was like, hey, and he was like, I just got here, and he was like, I didn't want you to sit alone. And you know, it was so cool that like, it takes just those little things, you guys, to turn somebody's day around. I felt so alone sitting in that church, you know? I was not gonna not go to the funeral, but at the same point, like, I felt like, because I knew, like, I am a firm believer that you suit up and you show up, okay, to life. And that's part of me being a better person, is that I used to not do that, okay, back in the day. I used to not suit up and show up. And now, weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties. I try my best to suit up and show up unless there's something that I absolutely can't show up for. And he is so that way and has never been had to been taught that. And he's 22. And let me just tell you, for 22 years old, because I know a lot of 22-year-olds out there that are spreading drama and hate around the world, but this one, not him. He is the kindest person in the entire world. And afterwards, we were talking, and his girlfriend came down, and he said, I mean, just to come in there at 22 years old and say, I didn't want you to sit alone, I'm going to sit next to you. Like, you don't teach that stuff, right? Like, he's just such a good guy. And he said, I feel really bad. He was like, my girlfriend came down last night and she wanted to go out. I didn't want to go out. And he was like, and I really want to take her somewhere special for lunch today so we can have kind of a romantic lunch because they're going out with us tonight. And he was like, where should I take her? And so I was telling him some places and whatever. And I thought, he is such a cool guy. Like, that, I just love that so much, that there are, like, kids that are in their early 20s. And I know so many of them, and so many of you guys are in your early 20s. And listen, the thing that you don't know, that I will tell you, and I know when old people say to 20-year-olds or teenagers, because I was there, I was 15 and 16, and I was 20 and 21 and 22, and I thought the same thing. Like, I know, I don't need to hear your lectures and your lessons, but listen, okay? What you do at that age greatly impacts your life when you're 40. Trust me. And if you think you're not going to be 40, I never thought I was going to be 40, okay? You're going to wake up one day and be 40 and go, holy shit, that stuff I did in my 20s, I wish I could take it back. I wish I could do it differently. I wish I had thought it through and thought, like, what's the long-term effect that this is going to have on my life, okay? Because, we talk a lot about, on like social media and the internet and things like that, that there's always an imprint, right, of anything that you put out there. Well, that's in the real world too. Like, anything that you do in your real world, there will be an imprint of that everlasting on your soul that you will think about from, here going out. So anyway, I was going to do a blog post actually a year ago on my blog before I even started my channel about him, because my brother-in-law at 20, he's just turned 23. So at 22, he inspired me to be the person that I wanted to be. I mean, at 22, he is the coolest, most compassionate, he's like, he loves to go skate, but then he's like, loves to be responsible and take care of his nephews. Like, I mean, he is just like, skateboard. He's like the neatest guy in the whole world. He's real artsy. He loves to wear different clothes, different colored socks. He's just the coolest guy in the entire world, and he lives his life with intention at 22. And I think, like, that's such a neat thing. Like, he always is thinking about somebody else and how not to hurt somebody else and how to make somebody's life better. And they have an 87-year-old grandmother that lives with them, and he's always taking her to go do stuff and always taking his nephews to do stuff. And I think that's just so cool, like, that's who I aspire to be, that's who inspires me to live a right life. So, but I was sitting in that church today, and I was reminded of the day that my mom passed away. Excuse me. And somebody said in a video yesterday underneath the comments, they said something to me about, I always am crying about my mom and these sob stories about my mom. That's some sick shit to say to somebody, whatever. I mean, like, it's been 8.5 years, so I don't take that stuff as seriously now, but seriously, I mean, I took my mom off life support. I'm an only child. That's a difficult decision, okay? To leave somebody a shady comment like that, and whatever. Those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter, I guess. But anyway, so I was thinking about the day that my mom passed away and I took her off life support, and we were all sitting around there in that room. And I remember that, like, in that moment after we took her off life support and after she flatlined, we were sitting there, and I remember thinking to myself, life is really short. She was 64 years old. And I thought, we're born, we live, we die, and what we put in the middle of it is ours, okay? And it's very much like, somebody commented and said something about Charlotte's Web, and I was like, oh my God, I think about that movie all the time, about the cycle of life that Charlotte talks about in the movie. I really do think about that a lot in relation to life and death. And, that we all die, that it's just part of life. And I am going to do a video on here about fear of dying, because a lot of people have asked me to do it. And my fear of dying went away during my mom's process of death, which is a process for a lot of people. And, when my mom passed away, I was so motivated to live the best life possible and to like make shit happen, right? I was stuck in my life. Had been stuck in a bad relationship. I had been stuck in a bad career. I had been stuck in just like not being happy where I was and wanting to move forward and wanting to do passionate creative endeavors, but being afraid to do them, being afraid to take risks. And after that happened, it was kind of like I was free, you know? And, in the church service today, they were talking about the part in the Bible, and I'm not a Bible thumper, but they were talking about the part in the Bible when Lazarus is raised from the dead, and that Jesus says something. This is not a Bible lesson, you guys. I'm spiritual, not religious, okay? But where Jesus says to Martha and Mary, take off his bandages, free him from bondage. And I thought about that like when my mom passed away. Like I felt this freedom of bondage, this surrendering to live my life the best way possible, and that I was going to go and do anything that I could possibly do in my entire life to have the best life possible. And that's what I've done. And you know, it took my mom's death to make me wake up and realize that. And today, sitting in that funeral, I was reminded of that, and I was thankful. I was like, these are the moments that I have to be reminded, okay? That when one door closes, another one opens. When you no longer have your singing voice, you start drumming. It's a powerful, powerful fucking lesson. And I'm so thankful that I heard that today and that it reminded me of who I want to be, how I want to live my life with intention, passionately, creatively, and being the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I think that's, you know, we're all going to look back on our lives at some point, and maybe not on our deathbeds, maybe we won't have that option, but a lot of us will look back on our lives, and I hope that when I do, I hope that that moment that I look back on my life, I do it now, but like, I mean, when I'm older, I hope when I look back on my life, I think to myself, that was a life worth living. It really was. And it's been awesome. And you guys make me so happy to do this gig. I love this gig. I love this YouTube gig. I love interacting with you guys. It makes my heart full. It makes my heart so full. So I'm excited for 2017. I'm putting out another video today about the things I learned in 2016. I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the other side. Bye.